Here's what Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin are saying about our fourth stimulus payments. By the way, who do you think is holding back our stimulus check? The Republicans or the Democrats? Tell me in the comments below, everybody.
Sitting out there coming into America, they'd be leaving with American products to other countries. They'd be able to be unloaded. People would be able to work. We would honor our heroes and not fire them from their jobs. It was a different course of action, and that's what we need to take. I'm not quite sure what the Democrats will get to. They don't have much to go to the floor. They continue to fight among themselves. They continue to have broken promises. And I expect next week we'll have a couple more announcements of retirements as well.
Joe Manchin cannot come to an agreement with other Democratic lawmakers over the new child tax credit provision. This means that millions of low-income Americans miss out on the new stimulus checks. Joe Manchin's position on the child tax credit has also proved to be an obstacle for Democrats as they craft their social spending package, with both progressives and fellow moderates taking issue with the West Virginia stance. Joe Manchin said that he wants there to be work requirements for the credit. He has also indicated that he thinks there should be means testing to lower the income limits for the expanded credit. Democratic lawmakers and lefties say Manchin's proposal could weaken the tax credit's ability to reduce child poverty and help families cover critical expenses. Biden's relief law made the lowest income families eligible for the full credit amount. The relief law increased the maximum credit amount from $2,000 per child to $3,600 for each kid under age 6 and $3,000 for each child ages 6 to 17. In addition, the measure directed the IRS to create a program which the agency makes monthly payments so that families can receive portions of the credit in installments. The White House and congressional Democrats view the full refundability portion of the expansion as particularly critical for helping low-income families. Both Biden and Ways and Means Committee have proposed as part of the social spending package, making the credit fully available permanently to the lowest income families. In contrast, Manchin in recent weeks has suggested that taxpayers should be working or pursuing their education in order to qualify for the child tax credit. Other Democrats have raised concerns about the potential of a $60,000 limit that Joe Manchin wants, because Joe Manchin did tell the White House that he wants to lower the income limit for families to just $60,000. Both progressive lawmakers and moderate lawmakers are pushing back on President Biden on Joe Manchin's preference to limit eligibility. So a number of think tanks and advocacy groups have pushed back against work requirements, saying that this kind of provision would hurt some low-income families and their ability to receive money to cover critical expenses like food, childcare, and transportation. The Treasury Department has estimated that 97% of families receiving the child tax credit have wages or self-employment income, and many of the remainder involve grandparents raising their grandchildren or people with serious disabilities. That's what advocates pointed out. Instead of narrowing their differences, Democrats are dealing with a near constant whack-a-mole of new problems in recent weeks, ranging from climate provisions and childcare to increasing intense infighting between moderates and progressives. Everybody, what are your thoughts on Joe Manchin and his fourth stimulus payments? Is he doing all that it takes to send out the fourth stimulus check? Or do you believe that he's holding progress back and that he's holding back the stimulus payments from being approved? Tell me in the comments, everybody.
I can see you all better. Oh, hello, everyone. Mr. President, Madam Vice President, all the friends of democracy, justice, love, and hope who are here today. And thank you, President Harry Johnson, for your kind introduction. To you and Chairman Guy Vickers, thank you for bringing us together for this beautiful event and your organization's stewardship of these tributes to Dr. King. Let's hear it for Harry Johnson and Guy Vickers. That's an applause line. It's always a thrill. I'm sure I can speak for everyone here. It's always a thrill to return to MLK Memorial and to do so today as we celebrate 10 years since the dedication, when we were joined by President Barack Obama and our former colleague, the beloved Congressman John Lewis. On that day, John Lewis said this. He referred to the monument as a monument to peace, to love, and to nonviolent resistance on the front yard of America, to symbolize the cornerstone of our true democracy. Dr. King's presence on the front yard of America with Presidents Washington, Presidents Lincoln, Presidents Jefferson, well, his presence, while not a president, has brought luster to the front lawn, has brought justice to the front lawn, and has brought many, many more children to the front lawn of America. Today, it is a privilege, I know, for all of us to return to the mall with so many who are here for that dedication, so many who played a role in the idea and then the fulfillment of that idea of this monument. And that are many members of the Congressional Black Caucus who are here today. They are led by our chair now, Joyce Beatty, and I want them all to rise. The members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Thank you for your leadership, and I also want to thank Reverend Martin Luther King III, Mark Morial, former Mayor Morial, and Mayor Muriel Browser for their participation. And isn't it a thrill and an honor to be here, a privilege to be here with President Biden today? Thank you, President Biden. And how proud are we that we are here with the first woman and the first African-American Vice President of the United States. Thank you, Mr. President. Nearly 60 years ago, well, it was actually 58, I remember because I was here, but I couldn't stay to see the speech because I had to leave to go get married. So now I know how many years ago it was because that's how many years I've been married. But it was such an occasion to see so many people converging on Washington, D.C., among others, our dear John Lewis. And to hear, for people to hear Dr. King, not far from here, deliver his immortal call to action. Now, he said, is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of America's children. So as was said, I'll speak about that democracy. We must make real the promises of democracy for families lacking affordable health care, child care, lacking good paying jobs with dignity and justice. We must make real the promise of democracy for Americans denied their right to vote and have equal justice under the Constitution. We must make real the promise of democracy for communities of color facing police violence and racial injustice. We must make real the promise of democracy for our children who deserve a safe, secure, healthy housing and a future